Hey everyone, Chris, the Thrift Shop Hustler here with another What Sold on eBay video for you today. Hope everyone is having an amazing new year. We got some great items here to learn about today. Just real quick, go down there, make sure that you're still subscribed to this channel. YouTube is unsubscribing people from all different channels over the last couple of weeks, so definitely go and check that out. And definitely go ahead and click the like button right now if you can. That helps out the channel and the algorithm and all that fun stuff. Once again, I'm Chris, the Thrift Shop Hustler, eBay Hub Manager for the American Cancer Society. All these items you're going to see today have been donated, and so 100% of the proceeds go to cancer research and lodging, housing, transportation, lots of great stuff. This is a great mission. And I'm truly blessed to be a part of the American Cancer Society running their eBay site. So that is a little bit of history with that. So we're going to go over some items today. There's going to be a couple of deep dives, so you're going to want to definitely stay tuned to the very end. We have some worth point deep dives, and you're going to learn something today. I can almost guarantee it. Let's get right into it, shall we? Up first today, we have Department 56. This is a Halloween witch hat tavern, Sleepy Hollow. For those that don't know, Department 56 are pretty much like ceramic houses, little villages, and we'll kind of look through the different photos right here. This is what they look like. These were in the box, as we can see here. This was from Halloween. This is actually sold, I think, the day after Halloween. And so it was kind of like not a very timely thing to be posting. And just as a heads up, you want to start posting this Halloween stuff during the summer, and you want to start posting the Christmas stuff like right around October. And so the Christmas stuff sells very well in the Christmas time, and the Halloween stuff sells really well during the month of October. So you kind of want to time all these things together. Anyways, you want to make sure also that the pieces are all together. These things break very easily. As we can see, these are basically like ceramic pieces. Some of them are resin, and there's lots of little things. But anyways, both of these were in their boxes, which definitely helps out the value a lot. This sold for $199, and you can definitely find this kind of stuff at estate sales and things like that. Not all Department 56 Halloween stuff is going to be worth a ton of money, so you're going to have to look up each one of the items. Luckily for Department 56 and other brands like Max and things like that, usually the boxes will have the name of the set, and usually even sometimes like a kind of like a model number or product number that you can look very easily up on eBay to see what they're going for. And so, like I said, that just the kind of warning things for these is just to make sure, if you do make a big purchase of these, just make sure you open up the box, make sure everything's there, not shattered to pieces. They put the boxes very well together in the foam so that when you ship these, just make sure you're shipping them with bubble wrap and all that stuff around these boxes. But for the most part, the company, Department 56, does a very good job at placing these in the foam in the boxes. So that's very, it's very helpful when you have the boxes. If you have these loose, just be careful shipping this kind of stuff. It is a little bit of a pain in the ass. And so definitely look out for Department 56 Halloween and Christmas stuff. And just like I said before, do the timing thing where you sell these 2 months to 3 months before the actual holiday, because it really will start to get really hot right before those holidays. So definitely check that out. Next up, we have some women's Birkenstocks. For those who don't know, Birkenstocks is a very famous sandal. These ones happen to be size 10. These were brand new with tags. Always look for these when you're outsourcing. You can find these pretty much anywhere: garage sales, estate sales, thrift shops, estate sales. I think I said estate sales. Any kind of sales, church sales. The thing is, for the most part, Birkenstocks are really well loved. So usually when I find them out in the wild, they're going to be worn to bits. And so it's very rare to actually find these brand new anywhere in a secondhand store or something like that. So just look out for that brand. And this is what the brand looks like right here. Birkenstock. These happens to be, newer ones. They're very well made. And that's what it looks like right there. So definitely keep an eye out for this. Pretty much if you're a major reseller, you've heard of these before, and I'm just reiterating for those that are new to the channel and definitely don't know about this kind of stuff. But this is definitely a Bolo brand. And by the way, if you are new to the channel, go down there and consider subscribing and clicking the like button. Next up, we have this Frank Sinatra. This is an LP vinyl record lot of 7. This sold for $60 with 9 bids. Sometimes we get different lots of things in. I'll lot them up and then start them at $9.99. By the way, if you want to check out our American Cancer Society eBay page, the link is going to be in the description. If you want to see anything there, send us an offer. If you're local to Los Angeles, you can pick up free shipping. But anyways, there's lots of great deals in there. Every once in a while, you can find some of that kind of stuff because there's, we start, a lot of our auctions at $9.99, and sometimes, we don't get that many bids. So you might want to go over there and check out some online arbitrage, and definitely send us the best offer, and we'll consider reasonable offers. Anyways, back to these Frank Sinatra LPs. These are actually rarer ones. These aren't mono to my knowledge. If I think I remember listing these, it was actually some time ago. And that one in the very front there where he's smoking a cigarette, and wow, I didn't even notice that. Oh no. Anyways, so that blue one right in there in the front is definitely worth something. We don't advocate smoking here at the American Cancer Society. Smoking is bad. So anyways, that one's actually one of the rare ones in that lot. That's why it went for so much. These are actually in really good condition considering I think these are printed in the 50s or the 60s. I think maybe the early 60s. They were in good condition. We can actually scroll through what they look like right here. And they did different versions of these. These are kind of like the earlier versions, and the labels on the actual records were in great condition. These things were barely played. And see, that's a newer logo, or newer label, I should say, with the rainbow. And these earlier labels had these kind of blue and gray labels because they did, take this same album and print it like, 12 different times over the years. And one of the pro tips for everyone out there that wants to know anything about records, look for mono for whatever reason. Maybe it's just rarer, but there's a lot of albums that are mono, especially Beatles and things like that. You want to look out for those because those are worth a pretty crazy amount of money. Just take a look at solds for any kind of LPs that are mono. Basically, for those that don't know, mono is basically, the same audio coming out of one channel, but it's split. It's not dynamic stereo. I can't even explain. Anyways, just know that to look for mono, and it's sometimes called different things. It's not necessarily called mono. Sometimes it's called mono something or another. But anyways, definitely look out for that kind of stuff. The Beatles ones in mono go for a crazy amount of money. Next up, we have this lot of pens. This is Cross, Bradley, a 10 karat gold filled. They're fountain pens. The reason why I post this is you should take a double look at fountain pens. Some of them can actually go for a crazy amount of money. This stuff is found all the time at garage sales, and so you can get this whole package here for like maybe $5, or sometimes people have these things marked for $2. And what I would do is basically, when you go to these kind of things and you purchase this, just put them to the side. You can lot them together and sell them as a lot like this. These ones actually happen to be pretty interesting. These are actually pretty nice pins. This cross one was really cool. This other cross one right here is very interesting because it was like a Kellogg's, what is it? Nut and honey biscuits? I don't know. It was I think a couple of these were like Kellogg's related, or maybe it was just this one. But anyways, it was probably a gift from Kellogg's employee or something like that. But anyways, what I'm saying is the thing is to look out for pins. Some of them go for a pretty crazy amount of money, and to just keep an eye out for them. Sure, especially if you can buy them for cheap enough. Next up, we have this Walt Disney lot of kids DVDs. The reason why I'm posting this is DVDs don't really sell for the most part, and I caution everyone to kind of stay away from DVDs. they're kind of going down the road of VHSs where pretty much no one cares about these. It's kind of like a dying format. Everyone has Blu-ray players. But one of the kind of shining spots still to this day, even with Disney Plus, and I did actually want to do a video just on Disney Plus stuff alone, how that has a kind of a butterfly effect when it comes to these DVDs, because like a lot of these movies you couldn't get, anywhere else, and now with Disney Plus is kind of like throws a monkey wrench into this kind of situation. But I'm gonna let you know the situation anyways. For the most part, lot DVD when you're doing DVD lots, horror lots do really good, and also Disney branded movies do very well. So, if you can get these for $1 or 50 cents, or you can get a batch of them for really cheap, definitely start putting these to the side. Put the Disney stuff to the side. And when you get a good chunk of them, you can lot them up like this and charge like $2 to $3 a piece. But that's what I'm saying. You need to source these very cheap, put a lot together, and they still sell. And what's nice about DVDs is they can ship media mail with no problem. So you can totally do a whole business model around just shipping these cheaply and sourcing these cheaply, because that's going to be the key success with DVD. Our first deep dive comes to us from this World War II early warning, or excuse me, aircraft warning system. That's what the AWS means here on these pins. These are sterling, and that's actually not the greatest photo. These photos suck. Oh God. There we go. I used the loop, and you can see it. Anyways, for those who don't know, there's a huge collector base for sterling silver World War II pins. AWS, for those who don't know, is aircraft warning system. Basically, in World War II, they had civilians that weren't military personnel, like people that couldn't like fight in the war, women and younger adults and things like that, that were to look out the skies and kind of basically be like eyes in the sky. So someone would be sitting in their backyard, or checking out to make sure that enemy aircraft weren't flying over, because there was a threat of all kinds of bombings on the east and west coast from the Germans and then the Japanese on the Pacific coast. But anyways, that's a little bit of the history of these, what AWS means, if you ever see that, which is kind of rare. You don't really see these too often. But the moral of the story is there's a huge collector market for World War II wings. And let me see if I have a better. Like these are like really tiny. This thing is probably like an inch across. And usually they'll say sterling on the back there. But anyways, there's a major collector market for these, especially for the larger ones. As we can see here, some of them have gone over $1,000 for individual ones, sets of these. As we can see here, this one went for $877. Now, there's all different kinds. As you can see here, this one says G, L, S. I think the G's are the glider ones. There's also ones that have like little missiles and kind of like logo things. They're all different for different branches of the Air Force, specific jobs that someone did. And some of the jobs were very rare, so that some of the pins were very rare because they didn't really make too many of those. And like I said, there's a huge collector market for this kind of stuff. So just look this stuff, if you look for it out there. One kind of warning is they made a bunch of reproductions of these too. Usually the reproductions aren't silver, so that's kind of one thing that you should look out for, is sterling silver pins, because for the most part, a lot of the vintage ones were made out of silver. A lot of the newer reproduction ones are just made out of regular metal. They'll have, if you have your magnet, they'll be magnetized. But for the most part, the older ones will actually pretty much look old. They'll have some patina on them. And there's all kinds of websites dedicated to finding out what pin you have, because there's like so many different pins that you can find and look for with different logos, different letters, all that kind of stuff. So just as a deep dive, definitely look out for World War II wings pins. I collected these maybe like 20 years ago. The market was really hot about 20 years ago. It's still pretty hot today, not as hot as it was 20 years ago. And so, I had, my grandfather and all those guys got me into this kind of stuff. My father, who's worked on airplanes his whole life. So this aviation stuff definitely has a warm spot for me, definitely. So it's just definitely one of those things to look out for. Next up on the deep dive are these Knott's Berry Farm and Disneyland ticket books. Some of you might have seen these before. These Knott's Berry Farm ones usually aren't worth too much. The Disneyland ones are where the real money's at, especially if you can find the complete books. What I mean is, back in the day, I want to say before 1983, you'd go to Disneyland and you would buy, it's not just a ticket and you can go ride on any of the rides. When you got general admission, they'd give you this ticket book and you use the ticket book to get on rides. So you present the ticket to the employee, the Disneyland employee, cast member, and you'd be able to get on the ride. So for the most part, this is like really crazy. This is pretty much like ephemera. These things are meant to just be used and destroyed. So finding them complete is very hard to do. These ones aren't complete. These things, look at this one in the middle, it's all written all over. Anyways, this sold for $9.99. The main thing I want to tell you is to look out for the complete Disneyland books that are like not, that don't have any of the tickets ripped out. They can go for a crazy amount of money. And like I said, this is ephemera stuff. This stuff is like in junk drawers and everything. Like this ticket book right here sold for almost $2,000. This was from 1955. Disneyland opened up in 1955 for those that want to know a little bit about the Disneyland history. You can see here. And those are what the little tickets look through. They're called like e-tickets. So basically A, B, C, D, E. I think there might have been F. I'm not completely sure. But you'd rip those tickets off to basically go on a ride. Some of these are worth a crazy amount of money. When I was doing some consignment earlier this year, I had a gentleman that worked for Disney here in Burbank. And by the way, Disney Studios is here in Burbank, and there's a whole other thing about that being able to source. So I guess it does go up to E. Anyways, I did a consignment. The guy had like, I don't know, 12 of the ones from 1983 that were like mint condition, and we sold those anywhere between $100 and $150 each. As we can see here, this one's like kind of like one of the ones, the complimentary ones. As a matter of fact, this is like kind of the exact one that we sold. Not this one. There was a booklet of complimentary because employees every year would get ticket books to go to Disneyland for free, and these are like basically the complimentary ones, like this, but they were ticket books. But anyways, those sold for like 100 to 150 each. And there's some pretty rare stuff out there. If you could actually find some of the tickets from the opening day, those go for thousands of dollars, and I've seen those pop up every once in a while. There was a ton of people that went to Disneyland opening day. Most people just threw the tickets away. And so there's Disneyana is basically the name for the collectible society or subsection of the whole Disneyland, the whole Disney thing. And there's huge, huge, huge collector market, ticket books, and stuff like that. So if you're at an estate sale and there's ephemera box, dig through it. You never know what you can find. There's like literally dozens of things, if not hundreds of things that are like this in those ephemera boxes that you could make crazy money on. But anyways, that's one of these right here. If you enjoyed this video, definitely click the like button. Let me know if you've ever found any Disneyland stuff like this before in your sourcing. And just leave a comment below. I mean, the comments really help the algorithm. Definitely clicking the like button helps. If you're new to the channel, definitely subscribe. And if you're not a Patreon, actually definitely check out my Patreon page below. We're going to be releasing some new exclusive videos there. You can go to thriftshophustler.com to go directly to my Patreon. Anyways, I'm Chris, the Thrift Shop Hustler. Hope everyone has an amazing week, and we'll see you next time. Take care.